Today I'm going to show you how to repair your favorite bead or charm. So these are my Pandora charms, and they're both missing a stone. Now I do want to let you know that Pandora does have a 1-year warranty. So if your bead loses a stone and you're in that 1-year window, take it back to the store with your receipt. Some people take pictures of the receipts and put them in their phone and get a new one. But unfortunately for me, these are location beads, and I can't go back to those locations and get another one. Plus my 1-year warranty is up. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to repair it myself. You're going to use a few supplies. So you're going to want something for magnification. I have a jeweler's magnifying glass right here, but you can also just use your phone. Tweezers with a fine point end for moving teeny tiny stones. You're going to need replacement CZ stones. I got these from Amazon, and they are 1.25 millimeter. You're going to want some toothpicks for mixing glue, a sewing needle for checking and moving tiny stones, and some epoxy glue. I got this also from Amazon. This is JB Weld Clear Weld Epoxy. I did want to let you guys know I did try this first with some GS Hypo Cement. It held for a few hours. It did not work. So that's why I'm showing you this. This will not work. But if you go online and you look it up, they'll recommend that for you. But nope, you're going to need something stronger. So we're going to try this today. So I have the lid off my epoxy. It's ready to go. You have a little mixing tray that comes with the JB Weld Clear Weld product. So I'm going to squeeze out just half a grain of rice in there, and you stir the two together, and then I'll have 5 minutes to apply the glue to the charms. I definitely have more than half a grain of rice that came out of the syringe, but that's okay because I'm only going to use a small amount. But basically what you want to do is you want to keep stirring for at least 45 seconds until this cloudy look goes away. So I'm just going to keep stirring until this looks clear. And what I'm doing is I'm mixing the hardener and the epoxy together. All right, so my epoxy's mixed. I'm going to use a new toothpick. I just want the teeniest amount of glue on my toothpick. Very tiny. And I'm going to apply it to the charm. So I wish I could have recorded this, but I needed 2 hands. What I did is I put the tiniest amount of glue right on the stone, and then I use my tweezers and kind of place that in there and then check it with magnification to make sure that it's sitting there. It will sit a little bit upright, but we want to make sure that it's in the right position, that it's laying with the flat side up, and then I'm not going to want to touch it for 72 hours. Okay, so I'm looking at my stone. I'm going to apply a tiny amount of the epoxy to that area. Okay. Picking up my CZ. Okay, so right now I have it in there completely upside down. So I need to flip the CZ stone over. It's harder than it looks. I'm trying to show you what I'm seeing. So I'm looking through my magnifying glass. Of course, this is phone through magnifying glass is not as clear, but I'm just making sure that my stone is in alignment the right way and where I want it to be. So this will set in 5 minutes, cure in 1 hour. They say it's good to go for 24, but for jewelry, you really want to wait 72. So it's very hard not to tap it and to check on it, but I'm going to want to put it to the side and wait 72 hours and then see how it is. I'm going to test it out around the house, but the good thing is I have a bunch of little extra CZs that I could use if one should fall out, and I could try again. So here are my charms after the repair. If I was to do this again, I would definitely maybe go down a size with the CZ stones. These were pretty good fits, but what I didn't take into account was that my prongs, I couldn't pry up the prongs, and one of my prongs was even missing from the charm. So it's going to sit on top of the charms, which is why they look a little lifted, a little bit taller than the rest. But I still think it looks better than a giant gaping hole. And it was something that I could do myself for just a few dollars. If you ever do have too much glue or any issues, you want to use rubbing alcohol to kind of clean it up. So definitely keep like a Q-tip available where you can dip it fast into rubbing alcohol if needed. Here are the charms 72 hours later. I put them on my bracelet. I've been wearing them around the house. So the stones did definitely stay in. If I was to do this again, I think I would go down maybe a size on the stones to the 1 millimeter instead of the 1.25. The problem that you have is the prongs are really little nubs. So there's no way for me to lift them up and put them back down. So the CZs sit on one of the two of the prongs, so that lifts them up a little bit. So maybe a smaller stone would blend. So when you make your purchase, you can get a mixed variety size bag. I didn't because I knew these were the right size stones. But now I kind of wish I'd gotten the variety pack. It was a few dollars more. It would have been worth it. So I could have tried that out. But I hope this helps you repair your charms. And good luck.